All right, everybody, good morning. My name is Dave Press, along with Steve Colburn here from Sterling Systems. I'd like to thank everybody for attending our Autodesk Navisworks Manage some Simulate and Freedom presentation. I'm going to just start with a little introduction. Again, my name is Dave Press. I'm the Senior Client Manager here at Sterling Systems. Just a little bit about Sterling Systems for those of you that are not familiar with us. We do offer implementations on the software, both the Revit and the Civil 3D. Our implementations are things like creating your styles, your family creations for your Revit. It can be training, any variation of custom training. We do consulting services, things like what software might work best for which product or for which project you're working on. We have different training solutions, things like custom training, online training or classroom training, as well as the Leica HDS scanning services and support solutions. Some of the additional and add-on products that we also offer, things like Bluebeam, which is a PDF from like your AutoCAD, your DWG to PDF creation, IMS CAD, the ability to actually take your Autodesk software and run it off a server, making your hardware requirements considerably less, and Knowledge Smart, how to train your employees and test your employees on their CAD knowledge. All this information I'm obviously just touching on. We have a lot more of the detailed information on these products on our website, or please feel free to give us a call at the office for more information on all of this. So again, thank you for coming this morning. I'm going to turn this over to Steve Colburn. Steve's going to take it from here, and we'll touch base at the end for questions. Thank you very much. Steve?
Good morning, everybody. Again, as Dave said, my name is Steve Coburn. I am the Senior Applications Engineer here for Sterling Systems. And what we're going to try to do today is give you a good overview of what our Navisworks Manage product is. Basically, what's going to happen here pretty soon is that most everybody that's going to be on subscription will automatically get brought into either a package of the premium suites or the standard suites, and you'll get some kind of system that Navisworks has, either Freedom or Simulate or Manage. Right now you're seeing the Autodesk Navisworks Freedom. What we're going to be doing is that as we go through, I'm going to tell you exactly what you'll get within that certain package, and obviously Freedom is the free version. You can go download it right now, use it to view the NWD file formats and the 3D DBF files. This version also enables the viewing of the model hierarchy. Pretty much anything that your Navisworks Manage users will produce, you can view as long as it's an NWD file. Within this system, you can walk, you can look around, you can do most of your viewing simulation commands. It does support the real-time display of materials and your lighting, so you will get that effect as well. The next one we're going to do is a Simulate. You'll see that it's basically the same thing as Freedom. However, you do get several different features. All the tools available to Freedom come along with Simulate. With this version, you also have the ability to review the file with the whole team, as they can leave the comments in the project file whenever they view it with the tools and then review toolkit. Publishing the NWDs and DWFs to other teams and project members is also part of the collaboration toolkit. Your simulation provides tools to produce photorealistic visuals using animations and simulations of the objects within the project workspace. They also can be attached to your project management software that's currently in use. Those that use Microsoft Project, you can use that as well. Here in a few slides, I'll give a list of those programs that Navis is currently working with. This version comes in the following suites. As you can see, we have the Product Design Premium, the Building Design Premium, Plant Design, Factory Design, and it also comes with the Infrastructure Standard and Premium suites. Our next is Autodesk Navisworks Manage. It comes with exactly the same thing that Freedom does and includes the same tools as simulation. However, it also comes with the class interference detection and management options of the software. The managed version adds the class detection to work set, allowing the user to quickly gather the information needed and then it helps you set rules in order to gain further insight on the objects that are in direct conflict with one another. This allows the team to quickly access the situation, place responsibility to the correct party, and notify that party easily and quickly with tools including email. You can export to Excel, and you can produce the 3D DWF, DWF-X files, FBX files for 3ds Max, and even Google Earth. You can also, with the Bluebeam that we mentioned a while ago, export to a 3D PDF. The ability to bring back in all the reviews from other team members is also within the toolkit and allows for complete coordination. As you can see, it is also in the ultimate version suites of all Autodesk: building design, infrastructure, plant design, and factory design. I want to show you a little clip of exactly all the type of files that are supported by Navisworks. Now, this is natively read in by Navisworks. As you can see, there's a good list. We have MicroStation files and SOLIDWORKS files in there, including Revit files. We won't spend too much time on this, but I just want to give you an overview exactly the number of files that Navisworks can read. The exporters, what this means is that the programs that you use natively, AutoCAD, put these into their CAD formats where you can export out to Navisworks. As you can see, all the AutoCAD products, 3ds Max, Revit, even MicroStation, the Bentley products there, as well as ArchiCAD. All your 32-bit support files are supported. There are a few 64 bits that are, of course, newer files that are coming online as well. Dave mentioned earlier that we are a Leica partner. As you can see, the support laser scan formats, Leica is in there as well. Most of your files there are pretty much the standard for your laser scans. Here is a list of the files that come with your scheduling software. I mentioned Microsoft Project earlier. As you can see, Oracle Primavera is in there, and CSV file formats, which is your Excel file formats. Those can use that file as well. You can find all this information on all the websites. You can get to this through the Autodesk website, and it actually brings you a PDF file that you can download and actually view at your leisure. The internet sites that we have available for all this as well, as you can see, we have the it's all there on the Internet Explorer. I'm sorry about that. All right, I also want to mention a little bit about Autodesk and their cloud versions. The Autodesk BIM 360 Glue is a product that they have recently acquired. As you can see, you can use it on your iPad. Any kind of smartphone will also actually have it, as long as you can download the app. The Autodesk BIM 360 is what they have start coming out with. That's what they're calling their cloud. But this piece of software here is an app. It's called the 360 Glue. You can go on Autodesk, search that. You can also go on YouTube, search for the Autodesk BIM 360 field. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to get into Navisworks and exactly show you a little bit about how this all works for those of you that are unfamiliar. As you well know, this is going to be the major format of all Autodesk products. You have the ribbon, which includes all the commands. So what I'm going to do is start basically just going to show you a quick overview. I'm not going to spend too much time on a lot of things. So the basic process, for those that don't know, you open a file. You can basically get into any kind of file system that you need to. Right here I'm going to open up pretty much like a city drawing, and I'll show you exactly the extents that Navisworks can do. The great thing about Navisworks is that you can take a lot of files, and they small to big. As you can see, I can have one central file here that has a pretty good bit of drawings here. And what I'm going to do is that I'm actually going to come in and add a couple more files to it. There's several different ways. I can append them, which is the basic view. There are also options that I can come in and actually import drawings that I need to add to it. So I'm going to come in through here and control click these files that I need to bring in and show you exactly how they work with the main file. We can see here that I've got these 4 files in here. If I double click each one, I can come to each one separately. And as you can see, I got several many tools. I can view this thing. I can move it around. I can grab my view cube here, turn it to every different direction I need to. So it's pretty much like your Revit, your AutoCAD files, AutoCAD programs that have these new tools in them. So as you can tell, the north, south, west are all going to be the similar. These are all different areas of this city. What I'm going to go back to now is go back to the central. In order to see all this stuff together, I have to append them. So I'm going to select these. I'm going to right click and append to current model. In a few seconds we'll see that it brings in all the plans, and voila, we see the whole entire city. This could be an entire city block. For smaller projects, of course, this could be one small area. So as you can see, Navisworks has the ability to greatly see in 3D any image that you may have. You know, this could be a plant, this could be a site layout, anything that's you have can be done. A tool that Navisworks also has is called the selection tree. This is pretty much like a project browser. But you can drill down to specific files. Within the first file, you can see that we have the file there that I can get into. I'm going to go zoom into that file so that we can actually get to it. As you can see, it's highlighted. Very quickly, I can drill down to anything that I need to through our selection tree. So right now, let's say I don't want to see everything. There is a hide unselected button which will actually hide everything. Now if I hit escape, that takes that out. I'm going to grab my view cube and I'm going to kind of rotate around, and let you see exactly how this works. As long as I get my mouse to work here. Sorry for that. So right now I'm just hitting down the shift and middle button to rotate around. I'm going to zoom in with my mouse middle button. So your mouse buttons are all the same. As you can see, very great detail here. I can actually come in to my file. I can hit the walk command. I can walk through and view with my mouse. I'm rolling up, rolling down. So you can see the power behind Navisworks. And it's just, I think it's awesome. And the way that 3D graphics works with Navisworks allows anybody, contractor, architectural engineer, anybody to view exactly what's going on. Now what I want to do now is just show you some of the hiding tools that I just showed you there. Now if I wanted to come back and view everything, you see the unhide all. Well, I can unhide everything. We can come back and you can actually zoom out, and I now have everything that's up there. Just kind of orient myself here with my mouse. I can walk. There's the walk tool, the fly tool. We also have a fly tool that's you can use with different get my mouse to work here. Alright. Okay. Seem to have a little technical difficulty with that this morning, so let me just move on. There is a fly tool that allows you to fly over your area. Another great tool that Navisworks also brings into its system here is measuring tools. You wouldn't think it, but you can actually measure anything within Navisworks that's an object. So I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to measure this window. And of course it takes a little to get used to, basically, as you have several different tools to get in and outside of everything. As you can see, I have a measure toolbar over here. You also can get to that through all your tabs up here at the top. And basically I have everything set up to where I can view everything on my screen. And here's where you can go to get that. But very quickly, we can actually go to point. And as you see within my settings, you have to go in here and kind of make sure that they're working right for you. The snapping tools, I can snap to vertex, edge, and vertex. This is all great, and what it allows you to do is actually just come in here and actually set my point and my point, and actually gives me a measurement. Say if you didn't think that was the right one, well, now we can actually add that to a markup, a measuring markup, copy that out to a viewpoint, send that off to my structural engineer or my architectural, say, let's make that a different size. The other great tool behind this is that if I wanted to make sure that that was in the right location, let's just say that's not in the right location. Change this to the first object here. Try to select my window. Alright, there's my window pane. Let's just say that's not in the right place. We can come to our measuring tool, measure that, and let's say it needs to go up that far, just for example. There's a transform tool that actually allows you to move that object. Now I'll show a little bit better example here in a minute. So a couple tools already set out we can get to very quickly. The measuring tool, you can view, walk, anything that you need to see you can get to. You can pin down through the selection tree. We can transform that as well. And as you see, within that tree I can go to directly what I need to, especially when I click on it. Alright, what I want to do next is show you a simple selection tool that allows you to go in and view the, it's alright, let me get to it here. You will say no there. Selection sets and viewpoints. What we want to do now is to go to our sets window, and as you can see, we have a selection set. And I can view that very quickly by coming in and zoom selected, and it takes me straight to our gas tanks. Well, let's just say we wanted a new set. I'm going to come up here. Let's minimize our windows. Go to my central. We're going to click on Abbey. Zoom selected. Takes me straight to it. Hit escape to clear that. And what I'm going to do is show you little tools about how we can make sure that what we've got shown can be very easily reached. The tools behind Navisworks and what makes it really work. I'm going to hit Control and I'm going to select these spires here. I'm going to add them to a selection set. I'm going to right click, save selection, and we're going to say spires. Now all this does is quickly give us a viewpoint where we can go back and forth. I can hit selection set. It'll take me to it when I go to the viewpoint. Zoom selected. We can go back, hit spires, zoom selected. So it's a very quick view range if you want to set things up. This also helps us in the future with doing animations. The other option I can do, I'm going to pin that down for a second to show you, is I can grab these roofs When I come over, drag it, and simply do it that way as well. Several different options allow you to do many things. Depending on how you have this right here selected, if I had that to file and I selected that, that would actually select the whole file. So make sure that you're, and that's right clicking to get to this menu here. Make sure you just do that correct, and then things will show up correctly. As well, we have a properties, and it shows me exactly what I'm picking. All these kind of different things, materials. So as you can see, that Navisworks has many tools in it that allow you to make sure everything's working correctly. Another option that Navisworks has is our viewpoints. I'm going to show you really quick, very quick drawing here that I can actually come in, and we're going to create some viewpoints and manage them very well, where you can, as you saw a while ago, there's a lot there. We can basically put them in file folders. Make sure that's going good. All right. I'm going to view in and come in. Make sure this is working correctly here. And this is just using my mouse, zooming in and everything. Get to a point where you like what you're seeing. Come over here to our Save Viewpoints. I'm going to right click. I'm going to save viewpoint, and let's just say bridge. One. Okay, so now I can go to any viewpoint that we've got saved. It's going to take me there, and I can take it back. Say we wanted to put that into a folder so we can start organizing them. I'm going to say My Views. I'm going to drag and drop that into My Views. And if we wanted to move that up, we can move that up, definitely. Not there, because that's an animation. So what we're going to do, let me get back to it here. There we go. So that's quickly organizing views. So let's just say we wanted to do more views in Bridge 1. You could come through, zoom in to different views, name Bridge 2, do the same thing for Bridge 3, and do the same thing for Bridge 4. So very quickly we could do that simply by right-clicking, naming our view, come through here, get to our next one, do the same thing. And I'm just right-clicking anywhere, just making sure I hit that Save Viewport. Viewpoint, not viewport. I'm talking AutoCAD here. Alright, as you can see, it didn't care what I named it. So be careful. And we can actually add all those to My Views. And we're good. The main power behind Navisworks is the ability to view anything that you need to. It's also collaboration. Collaboration is the key point nowadays. You're talking about 360, you're talking cloud, you're talking instantaneous information to send to your contractors and architects. The ability to do that is what the power behind Navisworks is. I'm going to show you exactly how that works. I'm going to come in here and we're going to open up, say, a drawing that we created for this file here. Say I'm the contractor, I'm coming through. Okay, we're into a plant. I need to view some plumbing down here that we've been talking about. I'm going to look around, drill down here, and let's say I want to view my plumbing situation down here. I'll try to do this slow so y'all can see the rotations. Okay. You can come in here and move this up so we can see that bathroom. Alright, now our redlining tools can only be done within a viewpoint. So what we want to do is we want to save this viewpoint. We right click over there in our viewpoints, and I'm going to just say lower level bathroom. Okay, that viewpoint is saved. Now we have the ability to go in and redline our tools, our toilets, I'm sorry. As you notice that in our redlining tab here that we have several different tools. We have text. We can draw several different things. Let's draw a cloud here. I'm going to take a note, pick point to our left to make it open up, and then I'm going to add some text. Let's just say need new version of toilet. You also have the ability to actually come down at the bottom where I've got mine set, put in a comment, right click, add comment, and review by, let's see, today's the 9th, let's say 1/12/2013. So whenever you produce this file or send it to somebody, they can come in and actually click that lower level bathroom file and actually come in and actually see the comments. Now if I go off and I go to a different view, automatically it's going to put that in there. Now if we move, it loses that, but as well come back and it's there. Alright, let's just make another note. We're actually going to tag this time. I'm going to take a tag, 1 point there, 1 point there. Alright, need ADA style and handicap accessories. And that's definitely wrong. Alright, so as you can see, my tag is there. Now if I move, that tag disappears, but as you can see, I have a mark left there, and it's there. So it's not going to disappear. It's always there. My comments can be done automatically. If I click on that, comment is there. So as you can see, I can actually apply that to anybody. I can send this off. We can email it to the contractor. We can email it to the architect. So very easily can be reached. Collaboration can be done very quickly. So the tools within Navisworks, this is what you're going to be getting if you get into the Premium or the Ultimate Suites. All within the Navis Manage tool, not the Simulate. Simulate doesn't allow you to redline very well. It does very little. But the clash detection is what's major within the Manage tool. Okay. Let me next display what the animations can be done within Navisworks. Very easily you can create that. This is to show anybody, even the owner, what's going on. The animations that we described earlier, I'm going to go in here and zoom into our bridges, kind of give you a view of what we did earlier, and just kind of add to it. Alright, so within your viewpoints, I'm going to say viewpoint, and this time we're going to add different viewpoints here, and we can turn our system around, turn the view around, sorry. Name our different viewpoints. Zoom out a little bit. And let's say we want to turn around for this last bridge and just see it that way. Okay. Now, in order to create an animation, I'm going to right-click on our viewpoints. I'm going to add animation. We're going to name this River Tour. All we have to do is simply select all those using our shift, put those in, click on the River Tour, go to our animation tool and hit play. And as you can see, it simply creates an animation. It transitions automatically through each view and will allow you to pretty much create any kind of movie that you need to. Let's go to a different one. Let's go to our gas cylinders over here. I'm going to use the walk tool. Within the animation, I can hit record, and it's going to record any animation that I do, any movement. That would be flying or walking. Or if I even go to a viewpoint, let's turn around here and let's show you that. It will record it. Now once I get through doing what I want to do, I'm going to hit stop. It's going to create an animation. So I'm going to say gas tour. And yeah, let's say we wanted that to be 20 seconds. We can name that 20 seconds. River tour, we can change that, take it to be 10 seconds. So the gas tour, as you can see, it'll do exactly what we did for the river tour. But let's say we wanted to combine those two. Let's just drag and drop that in there. And you can see it added to the bottom. And without making a transition between that last frame and the bridge tour, I'm going to add a cut. That's just going to help us to simply just make sure that that all works correctly and doesn't take a long time to transition between the two. So let's do gas tour. We're going to change the time on that to 30 seconds. And as this goes through, I'll describe what's going to happen here. I mean, basically, it's just going to go through all your frames over here on the side. It took a viewpoint of each second or millimeter, for that matter. And it's going to transition all the way through that view. And then when it gets to the end here, it's going to cut to our bridge view. So let's say you've gone through your project, you've created a bunch of views, you want your owner to see what's going on. You just combine them all into an animation. You can actually now export that out to a AVI file that Windows Media Player can play, or anything else for that matter. And you also to do it with pictures, which I don't recommend. That's a lot of pictures. As you can see over here on the file on the right side, there's 245 views. That's 245 pictures. And the different options for those of you that need to change things, make it look better, I recommend leaving it as the default view. So as you can see, we have, and I've got to say this is pretty amazing that Navisworks can do this. You know, our 3ds tools can do this as well, but Navisworks takes everything, including all the files formats that you saw earlier, and can produce this quality of a file. One of the other tools I want to say, it's kind of like sectioning. It's also within the redlining markup tools that we have available to us, is the section planes and so forth. Not many people may use it, but this is more for a collaboration and specific issues that maybe a contractor has, you know, within a view, or even the architect wants to view. So if you'll bear with me here, we're going to get through, and it's going to take a little bit of time, but I just want to show you exactly what tools that the Navisworks file can produce for you. Under my Viewpoint tab, we have Enable Sectioning. What this does is allow us to see planes and so forth that can cut the building vertically, horizontally. We can even create a box if we need to. Right now we're going to hit plane 1, and as you can see, it's going to show up when I hit that active. Being active, make sure that it's a yellow light bulb. Now I can come in here and actually drag and slice this building any way I need to. And we can zoom in. So pretty much like creating a building section, just not having to draw everything at one time. Alright, so that's plane 1. I'm going to line it to the top, but I'm also going to make sure that we also have it set to a certain height. Okay, so I changed that to 3 feet. Make sure I change to 3 feet there. There we go. I think that's 30. There we go. 3 feet. Because what I want to do is I want to take a 3-foot slice through the entire building. In order to do that, I need to get my second plane. Have it active. As you can see, it's to the bottom, so anything above it is going to disappear. Everything on the bottom, it's going to stay there just like that. Now I'm going to transform that. I'm going to take that and make that, let's just say, 6 inches. So that's going to give me a pretty good slice through the building. Now, in order to keep this that way and take that slice, I'm going to link the two. So we have to come here and link section planes. Now, if I want to see my plane 1, be able to grab that gizmo there, we can grab this and go all the way through the building just simply by moving this as well. And as mentioned earlier, you can save any view as a viewpoint simply by right-clicking, Save Viewpoint, and let's say Section 1. Now let's get back to our normal view. Go to that view, then hit the Home button up there on the 3D cube, and we're there. Okay. Now I mentioned if you want to get a specific spot, there's also the under the there we go. We have to enable sectioning again. When I come through here, let's say we wanted to show a specific corner. Let's change that from planes to a box. And as you can see, I can move this box up and down, left and right, any direction I need to. But simply, I can change my position very easily by doing this manually through here. And that's the easiest way to do it, in my opinion, that I found out. Let's make sure all that goes to 0. All right, we're 0. And we're 0. Now I can also tell it as there's different size as well. And let's just say we want that 10 feet high, 10 feet, and 10 feet. Hitting the wrong one there, folks. Sorry about that. Size is what we want to change, not the rotation. Okay. If you get ahead of yourself there, that's what happens. You start hitting the wrong spots. Now let's change that rotation. And make sure that's up straight. As you can see, it'll go to any view that we need to here. There we go. Alright, now that's basically put in the box at 0, 0, 0, and I have a height, depth, and width of 10 feet. And as you can see, we can go around differently, and I think I just lost it. So as you can see, before I right-clicked and zoomed all the way out and lost it, I could have right-clicked and hit that section as well. Another option that we might be able to use or need to use within our everyday project is comparing two model files. The basis behind this is, say you have one file that you've been working on and you send this another file out to an engineer or something. So you're working on one file, they're working on one file, and you bring in your second file through the append. We want to come in, bring that in. As you can see already, we already have some changes, but you really don't know what else may have moved, because a lot of things in here, you can imagine it gets confusing. So let's go to our selection tree. I'm going to click on both files, and if you'll notice up here in my tools, there's a compare button. And when we do the compare, we want to only see our geometry and the overridden transform. So that means that anything that's moved, which is the transform, and our geometry. Under here, we're going to leave all this as is. We just don't want to save them as selection sets, just as a set. So we're going to hit OK. And very quickly, you'll notice that as we go through, it gives us a clash detection. And we can come through and click on each one and actually view exactly what's been changed. Highlight in blue, allow us to zoom into it at the same time. And very quickly you can go through and say, okay, that's approved, that's not approved. So very easily we can come through and say, hey, this is not going to work. Send it back to them and say, hey, this needs to move such and such. You can come through and measure this tool. Say for instance we had some kind of pipe coming through, and that one right there, one of them was correct and one of them wasn't. And you knew yours was correct or the other one was correct. So therefore you can measure the distance, say, hey, let's move it this far. Along with this line as well, I want to show you the basic, and I mentioned before within the simulation software that you can simulate with your project software. The major tool behind that is the simulation software. The managed software brings this in, and along with your clash detection, gives you a very, this is a very simple timeline here. It gives you a very quick outline of how your project can be assembled. Let's say you're trying to figure out site locations for your operation equipment, your layout yard where you're going to lay your tools and materials. This can be used to do that. Right now I've gone into a file that we already have some timeline situations in here, and I'll view this up to where we can get to it. I'm going to unpin those so we can see more. As you can see, this timeline schedule in your Gantt view also has your project directory in there that they've already loaded in here. And right now I'm just going to simply simulate this for you and show you exactly how this works. We're going to go to simulate, and we're going to hit the play button here and actually see this in progress. And you'll notice that all these elements come in attached to a time feature. It shows you exactly how things are working. Now this does take some time to set up, but your first couple of times you'll notice that as you get a general overview of what and how this works, you can very quickly make this easy, because you can have your schedule set up to be the same name as your, say, layers or drawings that are in here. And very quickly, with a click of a button, actually add all those to the system. And I'll show you how to do that here pretty soon. It'll be our next slide here. Okay, it looks like we're done. So what it did is actually went through, and let's get back to the top here, to our task. It actually went through, and as you can see, it has dates in here. So it did a process that grabbed that right there, and then it has some form of the drawings in there with it, and that's what that explicit selection means. And I'll show you a little bit more here when I do this right here. Go to a new one. Start it from scratch. Alright, as you can see, our task, we don't have anything in here. But say we have a Microsoft project file that we've already created, and we're going to bring in and configure. So I'm going to add an MPX file here. I'm going to go browse for that file. I'm going to open up. Now this is going to bring in some columns. These are the ones that are in there so far. If there were some more that we needed, we could actually put those in there. I'm just going to hit OK. And I'm going to lock this down so it quits disappearing on me. Alright, now that's all good and dandy. You know, if we wanted to go to our task, oh, wait a minute, they're not there. Well, in order to get those into our task, I have to click on that, and then I have to rebuild the task hierarchy. Now what it's going to do is it's going to pull that in to our task and allow me to start working with it. And as you can see right now, there's nothing attached. There's no task type. So here would be where we could go through and grab things and pull down to our task. Right now, since we don't have that time to do that, there's a button we call auto attach using rules. And this is where I said a while ago that if you have it set up, you know, with a click of a button, I can attach a lot of things to my project file here. So I'm going to hit that, and there's a map liner time rule that we have up here. And you can actually create those as well to given your situation. But we're going to hit the one to items with the same name and the matching the case, which is capitalized or not. So we're going to hit that one. I'm going to hit apply rules, and I'm going to close down. Now, as you can see, we have several different items selected, and all our tasks have items. But we're not finished yet. In order to get this to work correctly, you've got to tell it what it's going to do. If it's going to construct it, if it's in the background, if it's stationary. So there's different options here under the task type. You have demolish and temporary. You also have some that's sort of site, landscaping, site buildings, and construction equipment. Eventually you'll see those as they come in. We're going to tell it to construct because we want to build it. So now we're going to go all the way to the bottom very quickly. I'm going to hit shift and click, right click, and I'm going to have that to fill construct all the way down. So now, since we've got all that built, I can come in and play it. Well, we have a problem, because what it's done is that by default the simulate uses the actual start and actual end. So what we need to do is go into simulate, go in our settings, and I need to tell it to use the planned view instead of the actual. Here's where we can tell it when to start if we want to tell it to override a date, and the seconds of the duration. So I can change that to 30 or 40 or a minute if it takes some detail to do it, if there's a lot involved. Right now we'll leave it at 20 seconds. So we're going to simulate, and I'm going to unpin this so we can see exactly how it works, and we're going to hit play and show you how quickly I just did this little animation. So you can see it takes the foundation, and it starts from the foundation, goes up to your structure, starts building the shell, and by the end of it all, you're done with the interior, with the roofs, and so forth. Now this can play animations as well. If you have, trucks moving by, if you want to show that, you can get all creative. There's very populated animations on YouTube. Go download, go view those to see exactly what other people have done. I've actually got one at the end of this presentation if we have time. But as you can see, this is a major power tool for your manage. The last thing I want to talk about is our clash detection. And that's what the majority of contractors want. That's what they're going to need. I wouldn't say necessarily that architects and engineers really need it, but it wouldn't hurt. Your contractors are the major power players for your clash detections. So we're simply going to go in and make sure that our plant, and that's not the one I want, our plant is working correctly. So if you've noticed, I've opened up several different types of files: an NWF file, NWD file. NWD file is basically a picture of the file. It's going to attach every file that it needs, hence the reason why your Freedom viewers can view the files. They won't be able to get in directly to each file or even have that file. Your NWF file is just a holder, using AutoCAD as an example, like your XREFs. So right now, all of our drawings in here are external. They're not into the they're not into the Navisworks file format yet. Okay, so let's speed this along a little bit. I'm going to come in and do some find items. So I want some clash detection. So I want to find all my steel. So we're going to come in here and quickly find all my steel by our name. I'm going to type in steel. I'm going to take the match case off because I realize that, it could be capitalized, it could be lowercase, so I'm going to hit find all. To make sure that I found all, you can see that it changes all my steel to blue, but I can also go to properties and tell it that, see that it's selected 43 items. Alright, I'm going to go to my sets, right click, and save my search. If you save the search, this allows you to run this search anytime that you get a new file. Say they added a piece of steel. If you did a search set, it would only include the ones you did previously. Okay, so I'm going to click off my steel. I'm going to make sure I don't have anything selected by my properties. Okay, we're good. Alright, we're going to go back in and I'm going to clear my conditions. So I'm going to start brand new. Click a new item. I'm going to go with name, contains, and I'm going to do vents and ventilation systems for the piping. So we're going to hit find all there. We'll make sure that I found something, 108 items. Go to my sets, right click, save search, ventilation. Okay, I did this all set up just to quickly go through our clash detection. Over on our left side here is clash detected. I'm going to pin that down so it stays put for me. And we can see the file over on the right side. In order to set clash detection up, you have to tell it some rules. So basically I'm going to go into selection A, which I'm going to say I'm going to set the steel up. So I'll go to my sets and do that. In my selection B, I'm going to tell it I want my vents. And I'm going to take this self-intersect button off. I just want surfaces. Now also down at the bottom I can tell it what kind of clash I want it to do. I want it to do clearance, do I want duplicates, hard, and we can tell it any kind of tolerance that we want. So let's just say 0.3, and this is in feet and inches. And I'm going to hit clash. I'm going to hit the run. So I did 0.36 inches. So I want that to be smaller than that. So let's just go 0.03. And as you can see, that gives me a closer clash detection. And what this does is it pulls all the clashes together within the view. It's going to send me to each one separately. Sometimes you have to rotate around to get that. And you have several different features over here on the right that help you. I'm going to take animate transitions because I don't want that going through, and I can automatically go to it very quickly. Now take this and run through it, add your comments to it. It'll automatically pull them in there unless you're wanting to add text and comments that way. You have to say viewports, but you also actually have them in your clash right there. You can actually right click and hit save viewpoint. These can be approved. As you can see, they're new. Right now I can hit reviewed, approved, resolved. So within this I can also make several different tests. I can do different runs. I can do several different things. And given the amount of time that we have left, I'm going to leave it at that. But as you can see, the power behind our manage is a lot more than your freedom. Your freedom is just a viewer. You do not have the clash detection capability here. Your simulation program allows you to do simulations and create animations and movies of that sort, but you're leaving out the clash detection. If you get the manage program, the clash detection and tools that we have available are there within that program. I don't think we have very much time left. If there are any questions that are out there, I don't see anything that's popped up so far. But I want to thank everybody for coming. This will be recorded. And for those of you that weren't able to make it, we will have it posted, and we will also get it on our YouTube channel as well as our website. So if there are not any questions, we only have a few minutes left. I appreciate your attendance, and have a good day.